We get started with committee tonight. We have Lori Pesci from the Executive's Department of Public Safety. She will provide an update on the Unite Us initiative.
Good evening, Lori Pesci, Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. The council has asked us to come back periodically to give updates about the Unite Us project, so I'm pleased to be here before you tonight. As you know, we started back in July of 2023, where we had about 17 organizations come on in the month of August, and now we have 217. And we continue to meet with organizations countywide to onboard to the, to the system. Let me see here. In front of you, you should have a handout. This is the monthly report. It is available on, pardon me, I'm just coming off a cold, online at unitesummitcounty.org. Every month this will be updated, and it's a great snapshot of where things are currently with the system. As you can see, we've had 462 clients served since last year and 197 organizations in the network. Again, as I mentioned, we continue to have informational sessions with all of our partners. The next one is scheduled for May 9th. And if you know organizations that are interested, they can go to the unitesummitcounty.org website, or they can contact me for more information. I wanted to relay to council one of our success stories that we've had recently. We heard from the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank. In 2024, the food bank sent 211 referrals on behalf of clients who visit the food bank's pantry and that are needing services and resources. And they've been our most active community-based organization in the first quarter. We heard from the Vice President of Development, Colleen Benson, who had said they have one of their program coordinators engaging with pantry visitors on a weekly basis, asking if resources other than food are needed. And they've been able to provide those resources. They've been able to provide clothes, diapers. They've connected families from El Salvador and Iran with immigration services. They've helped people connect with the executive's office to help with HEAP and PIPP assistance, and connect seniors with Vantage Aging for meal delivery. They've also referred visitors in need of home repair and connected them with Holly Miller in our Department of Economic Development. And so I would like Holly and Heather Yanyan from Jobs and Family Services to talk a little bit about their pieces of this, because we are also using the system internally for services that are provided through the county. Holly. Okay.
Good afternoon, Holly Miller, Department of Community and Economic Development. Our department is putting all of our clients in Storehouse. Anyone who receives home repair, HVAP assistance, septic replacement, lead abatement, or lead safe. This allows us not only to track our clients, but it also allows us to refer those clients for additional services. As my team is in maybe doing some minor home repair and they have conversations with the family, because we're in and out of their home sometimes for up to 2 months doing the repairs. If we are told they have some food instability or problems paying their water bill, rent, mortgage, we can go back into Unite Us and refer them in Unite Us to HEAP and PIP through community action. We can get them back to an agency that is providing assistance with rent or mortgage assistance. We also have the City of Green that has signed up for Unite Us, and we're getting referrals, at least one a week, from the City of Green for those residents that need minor home repair or HWAP. As Lori stated, the food bank is one of our larger referrals that we're getting constantly, 4 or 5 a day sometimes when they're doing their food pantries. From that relationship also came that a member of my team and Job and Family Services, which I'm sure Heather can hit on, will actually be at the food pantry every, or at least once a month on a Monday, and we'll be doing open applications and taking applications while they're in the food pantry getting the services that they need.
Good evening, Heather Yannian, Department of Job and Family Services. So we're using Unite Us in Department of Job and Family Services a little bit differently because we're using it with our contracted providers and some of our programming. So the first thing we really rolled out in Unite Us for us was our Benefit Bridge, our next program. So currently, you know, through our contracts, we do everything through the Benefit Bridge program with providers. United Labor Agency is our main provider. We have OpenM, Akron Urban League, Greenleaf, all of these providers that provide services. It was really a game changer when we got Unite Us because we're able to effectively provide the services through Unite Us. So every referral and every client that we serve in Benefit Bridge starts with Job and Family Services in Unite Us. We get them to ULA and Unite Us in a referral, and we don't lose anybody. And so then if United Labor Agency is working with someone and doing the coaching, and they find out in 3 months that that person needed, their car broke down, you know, we provide that service. But before Unite Us, it was a really like, make a phone call, hope somebody answers it, you know, and getting that process. Now they're able to make an online referral. It gets accepted by Greenleaf. They're able to share case notes back and forth. We get that car repaired, and Job and Family Services can see the whole thing the whole time instead of waiting until the end of the month when the invoice comes in to see who got served and that kind of thing. It really has been a game changer to the point where we're hoping to implement it with our PRC programs later this year or early next year. Anything that we're engaging community providers constantly for. But currently, I mean, we've got over 150 Benefit Bridge members that are actively enrolled in every single one of those. We're networking through Unite Us. So it's been a big success for us.
And I just want to mention with regard to the Benefits Bridge, with the vision of the executive, we negotiated our contract for this piece of Unite Us to receive revenue for any other Jobs and Family Service agency in the state of Ohio that uses the program based on our reporting as they continue to pilot it out. So, happy to answer.
Question, just kind of understanding by the numbers a little bit, because it says we've had 568 referrals for service, 462 clients served, 900 referrals sent. What is the connection or the lack of connection between those? Like, how do you define those things? And you know, you're saying like 77.3% were resolved successfully, but like total numbers, it looks like we're doing about 50% client served based referrals since August. I just may not understand it, so I'm just trying to understand the difference.
Totally fine. I will actually have Matt Devers, who is helping us implement this project. He is running sort of the data end of it, and so he can explain how those numbers function. Please.
Hi, good evening, Matt Devers, Dimensions Consulting. 462 clients have been served in the platform, but oftentimes, I think as even Holly alluded to, we meet a client for service A, and then we quickly realize that they could also benefit from an additional service. So each client is being referred about 1.8, almost 2 times. So they may show up for food assistance, but then they also need housing support. So there are more, each client is getting multiple referrals. So that explains why you've got more referrals than clients. It's averaging about 1.8 per client. As far as the resolved and unresolved goes, so when a referral is sent to a partnering agency in the community, now we're up to 217. So there were 197 when this report was produced at the beginning of the month. We're already up to 217 agencies that are participating in the platform. When a referral is sent, that referral can be accepted by the receiving agency to say, yes, we have the capacity to support this person. They align with our eligibility criteria. We'll reach out to them. We'll help them. If, however, after several attempts, the client never responds to the agency's outreaches, then that becomes an unresolved case. So about 8 in every 10 of the cases that gets resolved or gets sent out is accepted by a community partner, and then they connect with that resident to provide them the services. About 2 out of 10 folks who receive whose referrals are sent on their behalf are not replying to the agencies when they reach out to them.
Lori, or anybody on the team, does this help prevent people who try to game the system in terms of agency support and things like this? Do you have a way of watching or dinging that if you see it being abused?
You can only see the person's information if you are making the referral or receiving the referral or they're a client of yours. So you would be able to see that history in there. Otherwise, no, only because of that information is protected between the client and the referring agency or referred agency.
This might be a question for Matt, Mr. Devers. So you were talking about the unresolved cases. Is there a difference between unresolved as far as the referral agency not following up versus unresolved and the individual not following through with the agency? And how are you assessing how well the referring agencies are doing?
So we can see all of that data. So we are able to see if an individual was referred to a specific agency, whether that agency took the referral or not, how much time it took them to accept the referral, and the outcome of that referral. So we're able to see all that data along the way, and then we're able to see who in a general sense, so if you're just referring for like clothing, and it went out generally, we're able to see who's actually picking up the most referrals and who is not. Yes.
Following Jeff's question, is there some form of a checks and balance? Because if you don't, the overall organization have an ability to monitor what people are receiving, it would seem that there could be some gaming of the system.
There is always potential for abuse. Yeah. I mean, we certainly will continue to look at the system and find ways that we can resolve that. But again, it's with that information only being shared between the referring agency and the agency receiving the referral, it makes it a little difficult. And certainly we don't want to expose any additional information out there that we can't.
You probably have some method of watching what's being done.
So once they come out of Unite Us, they get entered into our other systems, which could be Storehouse, it could be any of our program-specific tracking systems, which then we are able to see what services that they have already received. So let's say somebody gets assistance with HWAP this year. Then next year they go back into Unite Us and they're telling somebody, I need a new furnace again. We can actually go to that property card. We actually have codes we put on the property cards. So if you pull up a property card where we have provided any assistance, be it lead abatement, lead safe, minor home repair, or septic, on the bank code or the treasury code line on your property card, there'll be a county-specific code. So for HSTS, which is a septic replacement, for example, the property card will say 444 HSTS. So we're able to go back and see when that person received assistance. With HWAP, it's every 15 years. Minor home repair, it's every 10. HSTS, every 30 to 40 years, because you don't need a new septic system all the time. But we're able to double check those once we get that referral in, then we can see if they've already received assistance through a variety of different programs.
One additional question, how many children are we talking? Is it a family component that then affects children? Are we having an effect on children in the county other than through maybe a family service?
I don't exactly know how to answer that question. I do know that we have engaged with Children's Services and some of the other agencies that are providing services, but Typically, that's through a family unit or a family service.
Yeah, I just wanted to add for Job and Family Services, all of the eligibility criteria and pre-screening still happens. So this is a way for us to communicate and to track, and actually we have better accountability because of it, but they still have to meet all of our eligibility criteria. We check the system like Holly does to make sure they haven't already received the benefit. I will say one nice thing to help not game the system is when any of us send out a referral to an agency, it may be sent to 10, but only one can accept it, and then the other 9 get basically turned off. So it prevents that same client from going to A to B to C to D to ask for the same thing. The first person to pick it up takes it, and then it turns all that. So it's not you're getting a referral and you're getting a referral and you're both serving it. Whoever picks it up first, it closes the other one. So that does help with the duplication of services and shopping around. So I hope that helps. Yeah.
I have a quick question. So maybe I misheard this. So you were saying that some clients that you're in there like 2 months, for example, doing some repairs. And then you may find out that they need other assistance. Well, the person doing the repairs, are they the ones that tell you that? Or how does that
It's my
possibly
team.
work?
So it's not the contractors doing the repairs. My inspectors in the Department of Development are in and out for an initial inspection. Then they're out there as the job is happening, having conversations with the clients, and then we're
Okay.
doing a final inspection. A lot of times our clients are elderly, and our staff are the only people that they've talked to in the last
All right.
60 days, so they want to tell them everything.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, how that possibly worked, because that's what it sounded like. You're in there for 2 months, so I was just wondering how.
Yeah, we're in and
I thought
out,
it was
but
a
it's-
contractor,
No.
like,
No, it's my team, and my team, we take pride in building relationships
Okay.
with our clients so that they feel comfortable telling us if they need any additional assistance.
okay, thank you.
Ladies, this is great. Thanks very much. I think it's probably a good idea that we stay on top of this, isn't it, to monitor it. Mark, this comes out once a month. Could we get this emailed to us when it
You
comes
can
out?
get it online at the website.
All right, thanks. And I hear the dispatch center is doing very, very well from Chief Davis. You're all-
Yes, phenomenal, actually.
And you're in charge of that as well, implementing that whole.
I just helped. It was an amazing project, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on it. But there are a lot of people that worked really hard on that project.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for your efforts. Thank you,
Thanks.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works will come to order. We have 3 resolutions to consider this evening. The first of which is 2024-115, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Parent Asphalt and Concrete for the 2024 Summit County Regional Concrete Pavement Repair Program in an amount not to exceed $323,415 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. This is another regional pavement maintenance contract. It's for concrete road repair. The county actually owns only 2 roads that are partially concrete, so we're not part of this contract, but we are, bidding it out and administering it on behalf of other communities, Bath Township, Copley, Sagamore Hills, and Twinsburg Township. 3 bids were received, and Parent Asphalt out of Akron was the lowest bidder.
And doing it this way provides a better price for everyone, right?
Yep.
Thank you, Heidi. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? The public? I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Donofrio moved. On 2024-115, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2024-116, a resolution authorizing the executive on behalf of the engineer to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation's annual road salt bid for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. A couple years ago, we changed from using the University of Akron CUE for our salt purchase and went with the ODOT. The ODOT bids out the salt prices every year by district, so we're District 4, and we have been getting much better prices under the ODOT program, so we would like to continue with that, joining them on that bid.
Sounds good. Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? Gloria Rogers moved on 2024-116. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, 2024-117, a resolution approving the time, place, and expense of the engineers' annual meeting of the county and township authorities on May 7, 2024 at Lala's in the Lakes, located in the city of New Franklin in Council District 7, in an amount not to exceed $5,500 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. We are required by the ORC to hold an annual meeting of all of the road and bridge authorities in the county and with the authorities in the township. We have joined with the Township Association of Summit County to have that meeting. We just sponsor it, and the Task Association spreads the words, make sure all the township representatives are there. You're all invited as well. You should have gotten that invitation recently. And hospitality payments over $5,000 need council approval. So, and this is $5,500. Happy to answer any questions.
Very well. Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? Mr. Wilhite moved on 2024-117. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Heidi. Is there any other business to come before the Public Works Committee? Then we are adjourned.
Planning and Economic Development will open at 4:51. We have one item tonight, 2024-118, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a lease renewal agreement for Arts Now for a portion of the first floor of 175 South Main Street in Council District 4 for educational and/or charitable use for the executive and declaring an emergency. And here tonight is the Executive Director of Arts Now, Nicole Millett.
Hi, everyone. I brought some aesthetically pleasing marketing materials for you to look through, which go over sort of a summary of what's happened since the last time that we came before you. It'll give you an idea of our Arts Forward grant program, which over 4 years is going to distribute up to $2 million specifically into arts and culture in Summit County, which we're extremely excited about, as well as some information on a scene project. And I can hand them over to full disclosure, I did not design them. That is why they are aesthetically pleasing. So.
Does anybody have questions for Nicole? Mr. Wilhite?
No questions, just a appreciation to you, Nicole, with everything that you do with the Arts Now. The event last week where we got an update on everything that you all are doing. The economic impact of the arts community is phenomenal. And I got to tell anyone in this room, if you don't think there's great art and cultural things going on in this community, you're just asleep, because it's just phenomenal the amount of things that are going on in the community. And Nicole, you're one of the key reasons.
We really thank you,
all
Councilman. And thank you for those of you who were able to make it last week. I'm glad all cell phones were retrieved. But we were really, really lucky to be able to advocate for this sector, and we deeply appreciate the ability to call this building home. So thank you for the opportunity.
Any other questions? I'll echo. Super proud of you. This is awesome work. So,
Thanks.
do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Hyam on 2024-118. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you so
And
much.
Planning and Economic Development will close at 4:54.
I will open public safety committee at 4:54. The first matter is 2024-119, resolution approving and adopting the Summit County 911 plan for the Executive's Department of Public Safety and declaring an emergency.
Lori Pesci, Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. Last year, there were changes in the rules regulating the 911 wireless funds that we receive. Summit County receives about $1.3 million annually. The new law requires us to go through and update our plan, which I have provided to Mark and asked that you do not distribute. But it just outlines the different dispatch centers throughout the county and how we intend to spend those wireless funds. And the rules also require us to go to every council and have them approve and adopt the plan. So we are asking that from you today.
Every every
Yes, ma'am.
government entity, boy, that sounds fun.
It's basically a form. It just tells you where all the different dispatch centers are, how much their budgets are. So the state has an awareness of how much we're spending in dispatch services.
I'll move.
Councilwoman Walters. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2024-120, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Pay It Forward for Pets Incorporated as the best practical source to provide volunteer coordinator services and animal enrichment programs at the Animal Control Facility located in the city of Akron in Council District 5 for a one-year term for the period of 4/1/24 through 3/31/25 in an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Division of Animal Control, and declaring an emergency.
Hello, Carrie Goffey with the Executive's Office, Department of Administrative Services, and Division of Animal Control. This contract we would like to award to Pay It Forward for Pets to provide the volunteer coordinator services as the best practical source. They had the previous contract, and they've worked out really, really well for us. So we would like to continue to move forward with them. This contract, $80,000 is for salaries for the volunteer coordinators because they've figured out they need to hire several coordinators to cover our shifts that were open to make sure someone's available for the volunteers, and $15,000 will be used for animal enrichment. One of the things that they did so far is we put little stations outside where volunteers can work with the dogs on property. And then after they complete all those stations and learn all the tricks, they can give a little certificate that says that they've learned some things while they're with us. And I will gladly answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Questions?
Are we still seeing mostly pit bulls?
Yes. Unfortunately, the large majority of our population is pit bull or pit bull mix.
How's the adoptions going?
They're going very well, but there's just so many coming in that, we're not really seeing a difference in our capacity because it seems like we're always full because we're always kind of chasing our tail, if you will.
And the volunteers like this program?
Yeah, so far it's doing well. Pay It Forward's done a great job for us. We've oriented so far with the new program around 90 volunteers, and we're 90, and we're seeing about a 45% return rate on them as active, which is around the national average for rescue. So we're doing a little bit better than some of the shelters.
Mr. Ford?
No, I think you answered my question. I was thinking about how many volunteers you guys see, maybe annually.
Yeah, we're probably seeing about, on average, about 5 hours worth of volunteer work per day. So it differs. Some days you might have 4 volunteers, some days you might have 1 or 2. On Saturday, you might have 6 coming as a group. So it's hard to say exactly how many, but probably around 40 active volunteers.
And 7 days a week we're open?
We are. The hours are limited different days, and we do allow, if they would like to coordinate ahead of time, they could come in before we're open to the public hours to assist staff with cleaning, washing bowls, so the hours really kind of vary between the hours that we're there.
That's really good to hear.
And I'll just join and add my appreciation and gratitude that this contract's continuing. Pay It Forward is awesome. They worked with my dog, so I'm personally vested, and I'd love to move on this one too.
Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Could you describe the Senior for Seniors pet program?
So that is dogs that are 5 years of age or older and seniors that are 55 years of age or older. She will waive your adoption fee, so you would still have to pay the license, but she would sponsor the adoption. So it's going to be between $76 or $10 if we're having an event. She would pay that adoption fee for you. Pay It Forward for Pets. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. And do we have any promotional material with regard to that program that you guys share?
We have stuff
They have
that
it down
she
at their
has.
office in the valley. Yeah, at their daycare center. You can grab pamphlets there. I'll pick some up this week. Bring them back.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, so I have a motion from Councilwoman Walters, and we're going to do this council as a whole? Okay. All right, so on the motion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
And with that, we will close public safety at 5 o'clock.
Open Health and Human Services Committee at 5 o'clock. Holly, did you cover everything you wanted to cover earlier, or did you? No, I have more.
Holly Miller, Department of Community and Economic Development. Next week, we're going to be bringing a first reading passage request to you to enter into an agreement with the City of Akron to help them spend their ARPA funds for minor home repair. So they received, So the City of Akron received ARPA funds, and they carved out some funds to do some minor home repair about 2.5, 3 years ago in qualified census tracts throughout the city. And if you remember, they had all the yard signs everywhere that said, call this phone number if you need help. They got thousands of applications, and the application period was open for about 2.5 months. They entered into a contract with a company to help them do this. They could not finish all of the houses. The county received additional HWAP funds, which you guys have already approved through the HWAP bill, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, of about $4.5 million that we have to spend by the end of '26. We also received some lead safe funding that we have to have spent by the end of '25, a little over $2.5 million. In order to be able to meet all those deadlines, I reached out to the city and said, hey, what are you guys doing with your ARPA? Can we help you? And they said, have I got a deal for you? So what we have agreed to, that we'll bring to you next week, is to help them do 300 houses over the next 2 years. The way that it will be structured is all of those, this is not a new program, so we are not accepting new applications from the City of Akron residents. We have gotten 300 names and phone numbers transferred to us from the city. We have prepared a special application specifically for these residents. We are going to help them fill out those applications, really make it low barrier, because they've not had contact in about 2.5 years since they filled out their original application. We've pre-checked them to make sure that they're current on their property taxes and that they own the home that they originally applied for the assistance in. We also double-checked to see which ones have already received HWAP assistance and potentially lead abatement. So those that have received that will not be eligible for any additional HWAP or lead abatement or lead safe services, but they are still eligible for the minor home repair through the ARPA funds. Once we get those names back in, my team will go out, do an assessment of each one of the homes. From there, we will determine what can be done in the home for HWAP, lead safe, and the ARPA funds. It's a maximum of $25,000 per unit, but there is a chance we might not spend any ARPA money on a unit if all they need is a new furnace and some new windows and the house is built in the 1900s. We can use our lead safe program and our HWAP program. Which means we won't have any ARPA money. There's a chance we'll spend only ARPA money and no lead safe or HWAP if they've already had those services. I can get you a list of all 300, so you know, for those of you that service Akron, which one of your constituents are on that list. I can get you the name and the address. I can send that to Mark and he can send it to you. So that will be coming in front of you next week, but I can take any questions now if you have any.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead.
is there, if a resident on that 300 list doesn't qualify, do you go back and get another name?
We have agreed to 300. So if they don't, we will. But I would imagine most of them are going to qualify now. The only thing that would disqualify them would be income, but they're in a qualified census tract, which ARPA means it doesn't matter what their income is, because for ARPA dollars, they can still get rehab because of that qualified census tract. They just, if they're over 80% of area median income, they can't get lead or HWAP, but they could still get ARPA.
Any questions?
What are the income caps on that? Or
80% of area median income. So a family of 4 is about $62,000.
Bethany?
So at this point, if we have a constituent in our district that is one of the 300, we don't really do anything with it because you still have to weed through whether, you know, it's just for our information.
For your information, the 300, we've already pre-checked to make sure that they still live there. I mean, some of these people have moved out, so we still need to get applications from each one of them.
And this is City of Akron proper, correct?
Correct. Now, this does not mean that our HWAP bill, HWAP and lead safe, is still not available for all other county residents that income qualify. So if you have a resident that wants lead safe work or needs help with reducing their energy burden in their home, please have them reach out to my department. This does not take up all of our funding. Not at all.
Do you have enough contractors to perform that kind of work in that period of time?
We do. We had a contractor outreach meeting at the job center probably about 2 months ago, and we had over 50 different companies come.
Well, and when you say minor repairs, you talk about furnaces.
Furnace, hot water tank insulation, windows, siding, roofing, electrical, and any ADA modifications.
Wow.
Anyone else on council questions? Great.
Okay, thank you so
That's
much.
fantastic, thank
Thanks.
you. And the city reached out to us to help. Let's see if we get the credit for that. I'm just saying. I said, the city reached out to us to help. Let's just hope we get the credit for that.
I'm not going to touch that line.
That's okay, I did, you don't have to. Okay, first up, I'm sorry, before we start on 2024-121, just want to bring to everyone's attention, I sent this out to council members today and the, excuse me, members of the administration team. A while back, we had talked about, I had brought up and we talked about creating an environmental review committee on council. And having gone through what's out there, what we're going to do is bring before council here sometime in the month of May, an environmental ad hoc subcommittee of the Health and Human Services with the sole purpose of inventorying what's going on in the county environmentally, because I think we've already got a great story to tell based on everything I've researched, the departments that are doing great work. There's a lot of lead certification going on. Certainly Mike Vinay's team is always looking at environmentally correct things to do. And I think if we look at that and get a footprint of what we do in the aggregate, Summit County is doing some great things, not just countywide, but in business and what have you. I don't want to reinvent the wheel if we don't have to. So this will be just to get a group of folks together to give us a snapshot of what's taking place in the county, and then we can look at that and say, okay, where are the gaps, if any, and what can we do collectively as a community to go forward. But it's more of a inventory educational approach going forward. This subcommittee will have no council powers other than to do the research and see where we are going forward. So just wanted to throw that out there, and more to come on that. And I thought under Health and Human Services be the right place to do it because soil, water, and air goes right to our mental and physical health. So it seems to be a fit. So anyway. Okay, first up we have 2024-121. Tom, are you going to speak on it? Come on up, Tom. Excuse me.
Good evening, Tom Jalbert of the Executive Department of Job and Family Services. This is an agreement that we have with NESCO Resource for our payroll services, for our youth wages and incentives and our benefit bridge incentives. We're asking for an increase to this agreement by $1 million. Basically, the initial agreement with them was based on prior year estimates, and we're far exceeding our wage and incentive goals for the year so far. So this is just to keep us afloat for the rest of the contract year and get us through September.
Okay, great. And now I'll do the right way. I'll read it in, and we already heard the explanation. My apologies. 2024-121, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of change order number 1 to a renewal, first of 3, of a purchase contract with Nesco Resource LLC, formerly known as Callis Resource LLC, for payroll services for the period 10/1/23 through 9/30/24 for various youth employment programs, including summer youth and year-round programs in an amount not to exceed $1 million for a cumulative increase of 71.65%, for a total amount not to exceed $2,395,638.10 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services and declaring an emergency. And we've heard the explanation. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Members of council, Gloria?
That's a big increase.
It is.
Why?
Basically, since COVID, our numbers have gone down, and we're finally starting to see amounts closer to what we had prior to COVID.
So you're thinking it would have increased on a more reasonable basis as the years pass, instead of this one huge increase?
One of the biggest drivers is the Benefit Bridge program, which is new since COVID. So the incentives we're paying out through that program have increased. The year-round program was decreased significantly and has started to creep up every year. And then the summer program, we expect to enroll a lot more than we did last year.
Do you have a suggested number?
For the summer program,
Yeah, what was last year, what do you expect?
the goal this year is 250 youth. Last year was about 100.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. DeVitas moved on 2024-121. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks, Tom. Next up, 2024-122, a resolution supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial. Did I say it right? Anyway, America 250 Ohio, establishing the Summit County America 250 Committee and designating the Summit County liaison for the council and executive and declaring an emergency. Leanne?
Good evening, and I'm so glad that you tried to say that instead of me. I mean, I got through Siniseptiquinary with Dave Lieberth when our 175th, and so now we're at America 250, and I'm honored that County Executive Shapiro has asked if the Historical Society would help with this. If you're not familiar with the program, it's to prepare for the nation's 250th, and what's unique, as you heard me not very long ago talking about the Society Centennial this year, I think that we have got a ramp going on to get us into this amazing plane for America 250 with the Society's 100th this year, Akron's 200th next year, and then America 250 the following year. So it's just really exciting to be part of this opportunity to get these information ahead of time from our state representative, which is Todd Kleidsmith, a friend of mine who I used to work with a lot through the Ohio History Connection as a member of the Ohio Local History Alliance. And what this would allow us to do is be part of their bold goal to have 250 communities participate in the Ohio America 250 by 2026. We will then ask if this would be passed, hopefully, that each of you would be willing to assist us with selecting individuals to be on a larger committee so that we can better represent our county and share our stories with not only our community, but our state and nation.
Great. Thank you very much. This is exciting. Any questions from members of the committee? Any other members of council? Do we want to do this as council as a whole? Okay, council as a whole. May I have a motion? Ms. McKinney moved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
This is exciting. Okay, next up we have 2024-123, a resolution declaring the month of May 2024 as Foster Care Month in the County of Summit and encouraging residents to join in this acknowledgement and consider the importance of foster care in their community for the executive and declaring an emergency. Tracy Foley, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for all your support. As mentioned, my name is Tracy Foley. I'm the Department Director of Placement Services at Summit County Children's Services. The mission at Summit County Children's Services is that we're committed to the safety, permanency, and well-being of all children served in partnership with families and our community. May is National Foster Care Month. It's a time where we recognize and celebrate the important role that foster caregivers play in supporting children, youth, and families. During this month, it's very important for us as an agency and as individuals who work for the agency that we make sure that we show our appreciation and support to these foster families who do open their hearts and homes for the youth that come into our care, and they do deserve the praise and support that we can provide. Just to give you some statistics, in Summit County in the year 2023, we served as an agency 1 out of 12 children in the county, which equates to approximately 9,767 children that we served. That is about 9,267 calls that we also received in 2023 through our 24/7 child abuse and neglect hotline. Summit County Children's Services currently serves about 850 youth. And those are those in our custody. Many more families and children that we serve who are not in our custody, but that is on average what we have daily going on in our agency. We have approximately 150 foster homes. That too changes daily as we have started to license kinship homes as foster homes as a means to support them moving forward in their pursuit of caring for their kin. Over half of our agency's children, over half of the children in our agency's custody are actually placed out of county. So we are really trying to help support them and retain those that we have and hopefully recruit more that are coming in and are actually in Summit County. We are asking that the month of May 2024 be declared Foster Care Month in Summit County and that the residents of Summit County are encouraged to join in this acknowledgement by raising awareness about foster care, support for children in foster care, and to show appreciation towards foster families and consider fostering in the future. Thank you for your support for the month of May.
Thank you, Tracy. Any questions from members of council?
Mr. Chairman?
Bethany? Go ahead, Bethany.
So in terms of the need for foster care is ongoing.
Yes.
Are we kind of holding steady? Has it gotten a little bit better in terms of providing for that need or worse? Like how are we doing in the last, this year compared to the last few years?
So our traditional foster families, we are actually down quite a bit. Starting at the beginning of the year, we were at 120 foster families. We ended a couple years ago almost close to 189. So we're really, really trying to get foster families in and to stay. A lot of them want to grow their families through foster care and adoption, and once they do, then they leave. So with kinship foster care, however, it has inflated some of those numbers because our kinship families are becoming licensed. Yeah, so a majority of our traditional homes are much lower.
Mr. Ford, you got a question?
For the month of May, are there any specific activities that might be happening and/or are there any ways that council can support?
So in May, we are hosting, it's actually at the end of April, a breakfast to help support that, but also to recognize April as Child Abuse Awareness Month. We are supporting our families through a gift card that we're giving them, as well as thank you notes. We also do personal phone calls of thanks. Various staff do that throughout the month of May. We are actually moving our May event to July. Foster families we surveyed them. They have requested that we do some sort of family event with them, as we did last year, where we hosted an event at Fun and Stuff. This year, we are going to host a picnic for our foster families where they can bring the children in their homes and have games, and we'll have bounce houses and all those good things, but that's occurring in July.
Anyone else? Council as a whole? Absolutely. May I have a motion? Mrs. McKinney moved on 2024-123. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you for your support.
Up next is 2024-124, a resolution declaring the month of May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Summit County and encouraging the residents of Summit County to join in this acknowledgement for the executive and declaring an emergency. And please introduce yourself.
Not a problem. I'm Amy Woodland. I'm the communications manager at the Summit County ADM Board. I want to start by thanking everyone here at council as well as county executive for presenting this resolution on behalf of our board of directors and our executive director, Amy Wade, who could not be here tonight. Your support of mental health in Summit County is vital to the overall well-being of our residents, as we all know. We are grateful for our partners across the community who collaborate to bring awareness to and response to the behavioral health needs of our community. Partnerships with behavioral health provider agencies, Summit County Public Health, hospitals, the faith community, emergency services, as well as government, nonprofit, and private sector organizations all help us to reinforce the idea that we are all in this together, which is so vital, especially right now. You're recognizing that mental health support is so critical to our community's overall health, decreases stigma, which is probably the largest barrier that we face right now. And it also reinforces to people that help is available. We are grateful to the community for its continued support and for your support of our work. Year to date, Amy asked that I bring forward to council just a small snapshot of what we've seen so far this year in 2024. So right now, our deaths by suicide are up by about 4%. Last year, we'd had 28 in the county at this point. This year, 29 as of last Monday. What we are seeing there is that it is largely Caucasian men ages 25 to 50. And last year, we ended the year with 96 total deaths by suicide in the county. And while one death is too many, we are hopeful that we will see a decrease as the year continues. But where the good news is, if we can see it as, packaged in any way as good news, is that our overdose deaths are down significantly so far this year. We have 45 versus 71 last year at this point. So we're down about 37% year over year, which is incredible news to hear given the conditions we've seen historically. Right now, our African American overdose deaths are down 47%, which again, if you recall, we had seen a significant increase in that population, which was incredibly concerning. And right now, Caucasian deaths are down about 33% across the county. Again, that's the way we would like to see things trend, if at all possible. We have data to suggest that carfentanil is back, according to the data that we have right now, but we haven't seen any deaths yet here in the county. So that's something that we're paying close attention to. This year so far, we have 34 confirmed overdose deaths and 11 suspected so far this year. Are there any questions?
Any questions from members of the committee? Ms. McKinney?
Thank you. Are you able to comment on how the new Scout program is going?
I'm so glad you asked because I brought my phone up because Dr. Smith had sent me that data last week, so I could. Actually, from the first week in April, that's the most updated data I have. The first 3 weeks that Scout was on the road, they saw 60 individuals, transported 7 to the hospital. And so far, as of April 9th, they had seen 85 cases Scout had been out on, with 66 being in March and 19 in April at that point. So from all accounts, Scout has been very effective. We were at the Safety Forces dinner on Friday night and heard incredible feedback from the community of law enforcement and first responders that it's such a needed benefit here in the community. And anecdotally, we actually, Max Warner, who's with me tonight, who's our outreach specialist at the board, we called 911 and requested Scout on our way here tonight for an incident that we saw. So I can tell you that 911 was incredible, dispatch was very helpful, and when I described a gentleman was having a tough time, it seemed that they were right on it. So we're very grateful for that added benefit.
I'm so grateful for that resource that we have now in the community.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Members of the committee? Council? Okay, motion, council as a whole? Okay. Can I have a motion on 2024-124? Mr. Ford moves. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, next up is 2024-125, a resolution declaring the month of May 2024 as Older American Month in Summit County, recognizing the contributions of older adults in Summit County and encouraging residents and professionals to participate in the Age-Friendly Akron Summit Initiative and the 2024 Senior Summit and Expo for the council and executive, and declaring emergency. Mr. Reed, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. Matt Reed. I'm the Senior Vice President for Community Engagement at Direction Home Akron Canton, your area agency on aging for Summit County. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to bring forward Older Americans Month as May to align with the national effort. There is a lot of really great things happening for older adults in Summit County. Since I've been coming to council, I can tell you that we have not only participated in the Senior Summit planning for our, I think this is going to be our third expo this year. First 500 people will be getting a free lunch when they register at gettingwiser.org. We're also working on wrapping up our 5th year of the Age-Friendly Akron Summit Initiative. That will include a evaluation of all the cool things that we've had going on, including our accreditation program, which has, I believe, over 40 businesses now that have been accredited as age-friendly through the Better Business Bureau. We also have been working on our Aging in Place program, which is the funds that council awarded to Direction Home to help with digital inclusion, minor home modification and chore services, and care coordination of in-home services. I can tell you that it has been wildly popular. Our calls increased 78% after the initial announcement, and they've not stopped. And so we are triaging folks, and we've changed some of our processes to make sure that people have quick access to the services, but it's been very popular and the need is definitely there. We'll have an in-depth report for you in the coming months on how things are going there, but it's been very busy. And so we're very pleased that council has been supportive, the executive and the office has been supportive, and that Direction Home's been able to provide these services and help to align all of these efforts between age-friendly, the Senior Summit, Aging in Place. As I said, there's a lot of cool things going on for older adults in the county, and I want to thank you and the executive for that.
Great, thank you, Matt. Any questions from members of the committee? Okay.
Do we have a date for the senior summit?
I believe it's the 17th is the professional training, and then the 18th will be the expo at Firestone CLC. May.
Any other questions from members of the council? Hearing none. Matt, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Council as a whole? Okay, can I have a motion, please? Mr. McKinney moves on 2024-125. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we will close Health and Human Services at 5:28.
And we'll open up finance at 5:28. We have 3 items, 2024-126, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Optiv Security, Inc. as best practical source for SafeNet Trusted Access Multi-Factor authentication of maintenance of licenses for a 3-year term for the period of 10/1/24 through 9/30/27 in an amount not to exceed $119,152.80 for the Office of Information Technology and declaring it an emergency.
Stephen Byrne, Office of Information Technology. So this is to continue with our current multi-factor product. Very happy with the product. We were able to shop it around with other resellers, so we were actually able to save about $18,000 compared to the last 3-year term that we had.
Committee questions? Council questions? Can I have a motion? Ms. Hyam moves on 2024-126. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is 2024-127, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute any documents necessary to accept 2024 Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, Energized Community Grants in the amount of $8,265 with no local cash match requirement for the executive and declaring it an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Phil Montgomery from Executive Shapiro's Department of Finance and Budget. This is an annual grant we received from NOPEC. It requires council resolution. The amount would normally not generate council action, but they do ask for that official resolution. And essentially, we get this as being a member community and assign it to an energy efficiency project that's already taking place at the county. So it's just a cost that a grant award that we apply to a cost that's already been incurred. So that I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Committee questions? Council questions? Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Rogers moves on 2024-127. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Last item, 2024-128, a resolution appropriating carryover balances for various operating and capital funds for 2024 is set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive Department of Finance and Budget and declaring it an emergency.
Phil Montgomery again. So this is an annual piece of legislation we bring to council. I know the number's big and scary, but that's because we have the opioid funds in there and all of the capital projects that we've done through our ARPA funds. So these are the funds that are not included in the annual operating budget. So all of these numbers were previously passed by council. It's just now that 2023 the books are officially closed, we have to roll them over to 24 to be able to continue those projects. A lot of them are grant accounts as well. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Committee questions? Council questions? Motion, please. Mr. Wilhite moves on 2024-128. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And I'll close out finance at 5:31.